What's up, everybody? Tommy here. It's been a long time, right? I think. Man, I hope I'm trying to put music on for me, not for y'all. I hope that doesn't get on the video, so I get in trouble. It might. I don't know. It looks like the mic is working because the graph is jumping, but I can't. Oh man, I want to be able to listen to music. This is a bad idea. Probably gonna get in trouble for that. Anyway, so it's been a long time. I think everything's working. I think everything's working. The capture card looks like it's working, and the stream looks like the quality's good, and I think the webcam and the mic are working. So I think maybe at the start I finally have it all in place. Maybe somebody in the chat let me know. I might be screwing some up. We'll find out. Pon's with me. Pon's out here. He'll probably make himself known at some point soon. He does every single time we go live, right? But Britt, she has to work tonight, but it's her birthday tomorrow. Girls are already asleep. So happy birthday, Britt. Anybody who sees this, make sure to let us know in the live chat or in the replay chat, whatever. But let Britt know happy birthday for sure, right? Ghost is in the chat. What's up, brother? Bro, it's been so long. It's been so long since I streamed. There's dust over everything, because it's out in the garage, right? So it's dusty. I'm doing the thing where I'm looking at myself because it's like another human that I'm like talking to, but I mean to be looking. I still do that. But yeah, everything was covered in dust. You know what I'm saying? I had to dust it all off. I feel like I got more white in the beard. Can you tell? Like, right? It's been so long, right? Happy birthday, Britt. Thank you, Ghost, for sure. But so what have I been doing? Because not only have I not streamed in a while, but I haven't even uploaded anything in a while. I haven't reviewed anybody else's stuff in a while. I haven't built like an outpost or anything in a while. If you guys haven't figured out yet, when it comes to gaming for me, right? Like I get hyper fixated, right? Like I love building, love exploring, love this, that, and the other. But like when I find something that hooks me, right? Like when I found Ark for the first time. My whole life up to that point, SimCity and Madden. That was basically it, right? And then I found Ark, and I was like, this is it. Talking about video games, not talking about like TTRPGs and stuff like that. But found Ark, and I was like, man, this is great. And then Starfield came out, and I was like, this is the best. And then I tried Fallout 4, and I was like, man, I love this. A lot of merit to it. But Starfield, right? Starfield's what always brings me back. Ghost in the chat, right? Without Xenomaster, maybe things play out differently. Maybe I'm not streaming right now anything about the creation kit. Like literally, right? So Ghost, props to Ghost for sure. Everything that Ghost does, a phenomenal person. For what Ghost did to the game, at least for me, literally probably wouldn't be rambling on the mic about any of this stuff right now tonight without Xenomaster, right? And I could list off so many others, especially at the beginning, right? Talking about Outpost, Betamax has been there from the start for Outpost, right? Along with like Misso and a bunch of Downfall, a bunch of other people. But like Something Wicked 3, like was instrumental for me for sure. Their Wicked Workshop set of mods and like them tailoring sets that were very much so in line with the way that I like to build, right? And allowing me to do that even cooler, right? Like Something Wicked 3. But Ghost, you're the one here with me right now tonight for sure. Want to make sure I recognize you. And like I said, what have I been doing since? So, my buddy Joseph, he has this old. I don't want to move the mic because like I was having, or the camera, I was having issues like getting it set up or whatever initially. But he's got this old, it's a couple years old, it's not that old, but old gaming laptop that his cat bit the corner of the screen. Shit you not, bro, right? So like bit the corner. So like on the laptop, like a third of the screen, not usable. You know what I'm saying? But with an HDMI cable and extra monitors, it works phenomenally. And you can see in the little screen, right there, I'm wiggling the mouse around. It's good enough that it runs the creation kit, right? Actually kind of cool. It can run the creation kit, and I'm not going to do it right this second, but like if I click on Starfield and then click play, then I can even do both at the same time without this buddy crashing. That said, streaming and creating two separate screens or two separate machines, right? Because probably as I get going, and I'm probably gonna go for a couple hours here, but as I get going, more than likely there might be a crash. We don't know. Creation Kit is fickle, so if the game crashes, no worries, because we're streaming on something separate. This is fun to me, so check this out. Playtime 20 hours. That's just the Steam version, obviously, right? That's just the Steam version. Literally just testing out mods. That's literally the only thing I've done there. So, like Tommy, in the past like 5-6 weeks that you haven't been uploading anything, what have you been doing? How much time have you put into the creation kit? Like you say, you've been learning these things, blah blah blah. Well, I mean, like I'm a month or two in, and it's logged 326.1 hours of usage time. Right, so I have been putting in time. I promise I've been putting in time, trying to learn, trying to figure this stuff out. And that's what I'm going to do here tonight, right? Bro, yes, definitely get me some more Xeno pictures for sure. I know, I can't wait. I can't wait. I know you've been teasing, you've been slow teasing the robot stuff to people recently. I saw a picture, I liked it on your YouTube, just some eyes, right? Like that. That was cool for sure. But I know you're about the robot stuff right now. I can't wait for that to come out. But definitely, when you got more pictures, send them my way. And then when everything's ready, I'll record everything that we need to record, and I'll get those going for you as well. And then when we both are in like a hiatus between a project that we're invested in, I really, really want to pick your brain on how you made the Xenomaster, like the NPC, right? Like, and how you set up the scenes and how you got the dialogue and everything working. Like, F me, I can't figure out companions yet. Shout out J Ramos Works. Like, aside from a couple people, Downfall specifically, Zone 79 specifically, reaching out and letting me know how I can do some things that I'm struggling and trying to figure out how to do. But J Ramos Works, I've said it on a couple videos. I'll shout it out every chance I get. I have put so many hours into watching this playlist from J Ramos that's like 35, I think, videos. I haven't watched any of the stuff about making chips, not gonna lie. That continues. Whether we're talking about mods, gameplay, or making mods, don't really care about the ship stuff. That's just not my thing or whatever. But it's cool. Like, it's cool, really cool. But like for me personally, like to invest time into creating, not necessarily my thing. But every other video that Jay Ramos has put out, over and over, but I cannot figure out the NPC companions. I can figure out regular NPCs, like generic NPCs with their own like factions and AI packages and stuff like that. Nope, no big deal. Got that. We're fine with that. But the fucking companions, bro, I cannot figure it out. Bro, same. Okay, so same. So I have taken a few mods. And tried to pick them apart. Look, I'll show you. Let me flip screens. Let me flip screens. Boom. All right. So look, let me show you in my data folders. There's not that many mods that I got up right now. Obviously Xenomaster and the Ironside, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got those in there so that way if I ever finish up this AIO, then I'll go and make one that incorporates both of those two directly, right? But the J Ramos Works, the Ramtech prologue, I've said a bunch of times before, is one of my absolute favorite. Any given day could be my absolute favorite quest mod in the game. But like, I've been trying, but the thing that effing sucks, right? I'll maybe show it later. It just takes, I don't know, if I need a smoke break later, then the delay will be worth it, right? But and we'll load up Ramtech maybe, and I don't know if that's kosher or not. I don't see why it wouldn't be kosher. But either way, I've gone into it. There's one thing specifically though, like whenever I go into the quest for like armament, and this is, I'm talking about inside Ramtech, right? So like if I look at armament, their quest, and I go into the dialogue to like look in the individual scenes, specifically the recruitment scene, and I look at where those little papyrus scripts, the KMI quests or the KMI.quest shit or whatever, where that is, It just has some note in like every single field applicable that would show you a papyrus fragment that like Jay Ramos put in. It just has a note about there being an error for like stage 100 or something like that. So like that's my biggest thing is I cannot figure out what specific KMI quest. That's what I think I'm screwing up. That's what one of the things I think I was screwing up. Biggest thing, I'll admit it again clearly, hopefully this time. I do believe that my biggest issue with companions was not packing the correct files, like for the archive. Genuinely, that's what I think because I didn't realize I was only clearing out the terrain folder and the quest folder from like the fragments folder, like the quest subfolder from the fragments folder or whatever in the data. So like I was only like aware of two sections of shit. So like I didn't know about like the scene as I was like editing dialogue and shit. I didn't know that the scenes were like a separate save, and then the TIF files or whatever the topic shit like that was a separate one. Because like on on the computer, right? Like when I would test a companion on the computer, it would work. But then when I would pack the archive and upload it and then test it on my phone on the Xbox, it wouldn't work. So what I really think I was doing, because I had so many fucking files that were just bogged down on the computer from all these subfolders, that I was completely ignorant to the fact that it had anything in these subfolders, right? Like there was lists of shit that I just from projects and just stuff I was playing and testing out and stuff like that. So like before I realized all this, I would go to auto generate the pack-in whenever I would go to upload the ESM, and it would just freeze the machine. It would just lock it down and then crash it. So I just started manually packing the archives or whatever, but I was only grabbing like a total of 7 files or 8 files, like 4 locations, 3 quests, and then the NPC quest. And then again, with that pack in, shit wasn't working. But I'm pretty sure it's because I was not grabbing all the other shit. I'm pretty sure if I had like a rubric of exactly which files I needed to pack in the archive to make sure that my NPC companion worked, I'm pretty sure that's all that I was doing wrong. Because again, on the computer when I was testing the companions, it was working. It was only once I had packed the archives, uploaded it, and then was testing it on Xbox that it stopped working. In regards to the companions specifically. Bro, I wish that I had started making mods in Fallout 4 or Skyrim. I've never played Skyrim, so that would have been tricky. You know what I'm saying? I've literally never played Skyrim. Fallout 4, obviously, I love. Never played Fallout 4 till I was like a year in almost to Starfield, like 8 months in Starfield. So this is all fresh. So like my 300 hours in this is all fresh. I wish that I could just tap in Matrix style to your brain, to so many others' brains, and just get the knowledge that you had. So yeah, those the error stages, but I don't think so. Again, what's weird is when I was I'll pull it up maybe later on if I'm looking for stuff to fill out the time. But it's like there is an error, especially if you're watching Jay Ramos works, and this might be coincidental to be fair, but if you're watching the video on Jay Ramos' channel about making the NPC companion, he deletes a bunch of the stages because he uses Gideon Acres as a base or whatever for the NPCs that he's making or the companion that he's making. And he deletes a bunch of the shit that Gideon has, like his backstory, not the backstory, but well, I guess kind of the backstory, but they're like his personal quest or whatever. And within the dialogue tree, there's like a where you can try to persuade him to give you a lower cost or whatever. Both of those get deleted out. Like a bunch of shit gets deleted out, and it does give like I think it's 2 or 3 warnings when you delete out a bunch of shit that like stage 600, stage 100, I think, and maybe stage 200, something like that, that all three of those get warnings. So he doesn't have a video that I've seen that addresses the warnings, because if you recreate all three of his companion videos, there's the main companion one, there's a follow-up for if you're making robots specifically, and then there's another follow-up for how to make sure that the cost text is visible. I've watched all three of those, done them step by step, verbatim. Even when doubling back, like for the robot additional stuff, like I've made the human one first in line with how the videos go, doubled back to make them the robots, added in the things that need to be done for the properties in the papyrus script and all that stuff. Like I've done all of it, everything that's on screen, but it always pops up warnings no matter what. Anytime I make a companion and exit out, and then even if I test it and it works out, when I go back into the creation kit, like I have a bunch of warnings. There's always about 1600 by default. If I do anything that creates one warning, it'll give me like 1600 warnings by default that it says are not a part of my ESP or whatever. And then it'll give me whatever specific warnings that I've created within the plugin. But anytime I make a companion, exactly like I've watched on those videos, it always gives me warnings. I have all the mods except for the McFly weapons, but the quest mods that I have up so far, all of them have warnings in it specifically to nav meshing. So like I do know that like some warnings aren't necessarily like the end of the world, but I would really like to make, you know what I'm saying, a complete mod that doesn't have any warnings in it. And I know when you convert it to an ESM and then load the ESM into the creation kit, it doesn't give you any warnings, even if it had some as an ESP. But I want to know if there's like a way to just like make a legit mod within the creation kit that'll load every time you load into the creation kit, and you'll just never get a warning from start to finish. I don't know if maybe that's just like a perfectionist thing for me. Like I don't know. I don't know how deep the warnings are, but I cannot figure out companions. One, to fully pack them and upload them, but two, to make them without warnings. I cannot figure it out. Oh man, Ghost, you're helping me out so much. Let me scroll back up. Wait a minute. Yeah, so I found out the TIFF files, and then there's one for scenes too, because I'm trying to make it's LC317 Lil Clyde for short, and he looks like a gardening mini bot, but I want to make him a companion, and I was customizing in a bunch of his dialogue because I was trying to incorporate him into the fucking quest, you know what I'm saying, and like have him give little tidbits or whatever of backstory lore or whatever, and like I typed it all in, I got it all going good to go. And again, when I put it on the computer, little homie was doing his thing. Get it on the. So what would happen if this explains it? Maybe it'll clarify that the TIFF is what I'm missing specifically. So what would happen is, so like picture, I create a robot companion, LC317, Lil Clyde, and he works on the computer. He's sitting in a bunker, and he's just nav meshing around a tiny little bunker, and the player stumbles across the bunker, enters the bunker, sees LC317, initiates a conversation with him, and you see LC like give his greeting, and it gives you the option to then choose to recruit them as a companion. And as soon as you would do that on the computer, it would take you to the screen where you could assign them to a specific location, right? On the Xbox, when I was testing this, it was at that moment right there. I just clicked to recruit them into the fold as a companion, and it would like blink like it was going to try to go to the assignment screen, but then it didn't. It just doesn't. It stays there on that screen, but it like freezes then the dialogue. I can go into my crew list and manually assign them to a location, and it seems to take. And from there, if I try to talk to the companion, I can even tell them to follow me, but they don't. They simply stand there. They say that they'll follow me, but they stand there. Weirdest thing of all. If I'm playing with, because I love from Relianis, the gang is all here. If I'm playing with the gang is all here, the companions, because I ended up making two, LC317 and then LFB634. and they would show up under your list of elite crew, like within the Gang Is All Here mod. You could choose to have them teleport to you and follow you. It would say that it did, and it did. Like, it actually worked. They would follow me around in combat, comment on stuff. Like, that's where I'm stuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no idea what I am or am not doing right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it has to do with the files. So can I rename files, and the terrain ones are fine because the overlays or whatever, like the way that I do my naming conventions, shout out Jay Ramos, super clean on the terrain, but it auto names, obviously, right, the quests and the TIFs and stuff like that. Can I rename those in the data folders so that way they're easier to manage? Because that would be clutch. Right now, what I'm doing is going off of the last date that they were modified to know which ones are the newest. So if I could rename them, that'd be great. You could put them in a uniquely named folder even too. Oh my gosh, I am so ignorant. I don't know how to do these things. I need this knowledge. I didn't even know you could do that. No, yeah, so the Gideon base actually is clean. Like, if I didn't want, to be fair, shout out Jay Ramos, always pointing out, just like Brits, you know what I'm saying, for our save files. I do have, so like, here's my data folder, right? And then I do have this separate folder called backup, desktop backup. So I do got like different stages of backups for what I'm working on in here. This one has just the custom weapons. This one has just the custom weapons and then all the custom locations. This is just the custom weapons, all the locations, and then everything in place for the first part of the main quest. What I'm doing now is I'm like halfway, I'm towards the end of finishing up everything for the second part of the main quest. I'll just rip the band-aid off on that. We're like 2 months in, and I just restarted this mod again this morning. I don't know what to say. Chronic habitual restarter syndrome. I want it to be good. I want it to be good. I want everybody to like really be like, fuck, this is actually a really cool mod. Like, this is a fun story. Dude commented. I'm gonna shout out this dude. You guys have no idea how happy this made me. This made me so incredibly happy. Ronnie Howell. Shout out Ronnie Howell. You are super, super awesome. But they commented on the video that I made walking through the Humble Beginnings quest, and it said, I love this. I have never been an Outpost guy. I have only one issue. I have Checkers 90's New Atlantis Awaits and Zeogre's Constellation Drop Crate. They cause an issue with the crates and building area behind the lodge. Can you tell me if there is anyone working on a patch for whichever is causing the issue? But I will have to say, this is the mod that is getting me into outpost building. Thank you for the great mod. This is not a plant. I swear to God, I don't know this dude. I don't think I know this dude. If I do know this dude, I feel like an ass now. I'm sorry. But I don't know this dude. But this is literally one of the main pillars for why I wanted to start making mods to begin with. Everybody talks about all the time, oh, the outposting in Starfield is lame and blah, blah, blah. Do I wish that there's a DLC officially coming with some TLC for outposting? Fuck yeah, for sure. But modders are already doing most of the work. You guys see Miss O put out a teaser for the next modular outpost. It's the theme is like neon street rat, so you can build actual fucking cities. Like, cool shit for Outpost, and I just wanted to help be a part of that wave of people trying to show other people, hey man, there's some really cool shit that you can do with Outpost for sure. And that comment definitely was super cool. New Atlantis Awaits. What I think is funny about that is I always want to steal the title to use as a quest stage specifically. I didn't in what I got going on right now. It's so great though, right? New Atlantis Awaits. I actually love the mod too. It looks fantastic. Works on Xbox. Does cause a bit of a hit or increase in your pointer count or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? Be prepared for that. But it looks phenomenal. Looks phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. I haven't used Constellation Drop Crate just yet. I've seen it a bunch for sure. Zeogre is super clutch, absolutely. All their stuff, they're the like manufacturing posters and shit. Absolutely, look, that's the MacGyvers, right? I'm pretty sure that's Zeogre, but Haven't tested those out, but I let them know in the reply. Once I get down the line at some point, I'll look at patching for stuff like that for sure. But just the idea that somebody said that, you know what I'm saying, it was making them look at Outpost a little bit differently. That was super super cool to me. I don't even remember why I started talking about that. I don't know. I just started humble bragging and feeling great. So there are some errors and warnings. That's normal. Not following. No, it has to be miss. Yeah, not following. Okay, okay. How do you rename the script in the creation kit? Bro, you are blowing my mind with like everything that you say. I don't even know you could do these things. How do you rename the script? No, like, cause look. So yeah, look. So like, look for this one, humble, and then we come over here to data. Is it like in this? Cause I don't see the shit that looks like data fragment quest. Oh yeah, because I don't have the papyrus. So watch this. Look. So if I just go to quest stages. Plus, hey, look, this is kind of the point of the stream. For anybody that was watching this, hoping to maybe be like, hey, I just wanted to learn some cool stuff. So check this out. To start the main quest, stage 1, quest start, the default set stage trigger, Vectera outpost. It's a KMI quest, none. This is what we're going to put. We're going to put, fuck, what do I put? Set objective displayed 0. And then we're going to go set objective completed 0. Set objective displayed 5. Fuck. 5. I'm pretty sure that's right. If we hit compile, no warning, no warning, no warning, no warning. Good. So now that I've hit compile on this, I hit OK. Save this. Now it should show up. Yes. What the fuck? Every time I go to upload, it doesn't show that way. Oh my god, I just had to drag out the friggin' window. No, no. It just wants me to look like an asshole. I swear to god, every time it's just the QF and then these numbers. That's like the first time. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have deleted everything so I could show it. Now I look like a jackass. But anyway, so, like this stuff. Topic info for when we're talking about companions. Didn't know that I might have to pack shit in there. Scenes. Didn't know I might have to pack shit in there. So I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing wrong on the companion. I swear to God. I swear to God. Oh, Starfield Eclipse. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you could join right now. It's been like half a year since I've streamed, and I've just been looking incredibly competent this entire time. Fuck me, bro. I swear to God, it just said QF and then these numbers. Well, I shouldn't be swearing to God, Tommy, because clearly you're fucking wrong, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let me catch up in the chat. Good call. So yeah, I'm just starting on trying to be consistent with backup files, Ghost, because many of the times I've restarted these mods, it's been because I got so far all the way to the end. Mainly got everything done, then I was like, all right, let me do this companion. Fuck, I got these warnings and everything. Restart. So now I do backups right before I'm going to do the things that consistently give me warnings. Sometimes creating factions, if I don't create like all the right connections between like friends and allies and enemies and shit, sometimes that'll give me a warning. With companions, obviously it's the quest, gives me warning. Every time I nav mesh, so I try to just save because it lessens the impact on bothering my like unofficial OCD. of seeing these warnings. Nav mesh every single time I nav mesh. The only way I know how to nav mesh is by doing this. I put down a nav mesh seed marker. I ain't about to do it right now. Nav mesh seed. So, because this took me a minute to figure out. So, like, all you got to do is drag one of these buddies out, and then you click on this little icon right here. And from here, you could see there ain't no nav mesh or anything out yet. You could create your own, but if you just hit this little blue circle with a white outline and a question mark in between, if you click that, you can auto-generate your nav mesh. And I know it's not perfect, probably. Obviously, it gives me a shit ton of warnings, right? But it works in practice. So that's the balance I've come to in my own understanding of how to make shit right now when it comes to nav meshing areas. Because clearly you can see on screen, look at all these fucking locations I have, right? So, like, clearly I know how to make locations and I enjoy making locations. So, what's the one thing you really need for a location when you're out in play with allies and enemies and neutrals abound, right? You need nav mesh, otherwise they just stand there twiddling their thumbs. So I try to wait on the nav mesh until the very end because I know it's going to give me warnings. But so I gotta catch up. Once I catch up, I'm gonna actually start doing something. Wait, so when you're in the script tab and you see advanced, you will see the rename option. Yeah, so that's what I found out with factions. So like right now, I only got one faction that I've made. Like in this go round, it's just a main base for the Hallowed Devils. It's not even like a individual crime faction or group faction. It's just a base faction that I made. I made them friendly amongst themselves, obviously, right? But that's the only faction I've done so far. And between two reloads, it hasn't given me any warnings yet, so I think I'm good so far there. Yeah, so like if you create, so like say that how I created the Hallowed Devils. So like say that I come in here and I'm not going to do it right, but say that I added a new one. And instead of it being the Hallowed Devils, say that I wanted it to be like if I go up to Crime Faction. So like Crime Faction list. Say that I was adding a new interfaction relation for the Hallowed Devils with the list faction, and say that I made them a friend and or an ally and or an enemy, then I would have to also go in to the crime factions list and then add a new interfaction relation for the Hallowed Devils, in theory that matches, you know what I'm saying, the same relation or whatever. So that is definitely crucial because if you don't do that, it will give you warnings. You can overcome those warnings just by fixing stuff and deleting extra stuff that it adds, but it will impact the vanilla factions because of that. So basically, the way that I'm using that knowledge with the custom factions that I'm building and going to continue building for this mod is as an understood the reason that, so like let's say instead of just looking at mine, say that we were looking at an established faction, right? Give me a moment, even though I'm probably explaining some shit you already know. I just went through like 30 minutes of talking about how fucking dumb I am. So I did figure this out. Give me just a second to like be like, I'm not all dumb. So like if I went into the citizenship factionless, whatever, but you look at this captive faction, citizen faction. They have their allies and their friends. Nothing else listed. So how do they interact with everybody else? It's neutral by default. See how it's grayed out on neutral right there for if you were going to add anything. So any faction that you look at, what is it, bounty hunter faction, whatever. So like they will have specific interfaction relations if it's outside of the standard neutral designation. So when you're making your own unique factions, just remember that you're neutral with everything else. So, like, good guys aren't going to attack you because you're neutral. Bad guys, unless you're like getting warned away from a lockdown area, or unless they're very aggressive or frenzied or whatever, they're not going to attack you because you're neutral. So you only have to worry about adding an interfaction relation to all parties involved, if you will, if it's going to be a combat status or a group combat reaction that's different than neutral. Those are the only ones you have to manipulate. But if you do that for vanilla factions, if you want the Hallowed Devils to be enemies with the Crimson Fleet, you would have to manually adjust then the Crimson Fleet to be enemies with the Hallowed Devils, which is then going to change the base game Crimson Fleet faction form, right? And that's one of the things I took from Jay Ramos for sure. It's probably a standard. A lot of the things I'm going to attribute to Jay Ramos probably standard, but he's who I learned it from. So that's what I'm going to keep recognizing for sure. But naming conventions right makes things so much easier. And when you're making unique forms, it makes the mod so much cleaner. Because if I'm trying to edit something and I edit it in the base model, it's going to be like that for every instance throughout the actual game. And that's not necessarily what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make individual instances of these changes, right? Side note before I forget, when we're talking about warnings, another surefire way to give me fucking warnings. So like I made it and I never use it. It's under interiors, math, dev room. I make a dev room, never use it. Why not? Because I only want to use it to make pack-ins, right? Every single time I make a pack-in in the dev room and then delete it or whatever, like out of the render window. So I have it in my object window as like a drag placeable pack-in. It's right there, instanced, ready to go. And then I exit the creation kit, load back in, and it'll tell me that there are objects that have like no link or not a persistent link or blah blah blah. And I don't know if they're related or not, but there's a correlation because that shit only happens whenever I make pack-ins and I get the exact same number of these errors as the number of pack-ins that I made. So that was either, yeah, it's fireworks. I'm on the east side of Indy, but we're not that much in the hood. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely fireworks. But Pongo, you don't look happy, buddy. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's just some fireworks. I know you don't like them. Pongo does not like fireworks. How do I package my terrain files for overlays? Great question. So, like, if you mean Eclipse when I'm going to upload it, that's where I do know where to get these files. So, what you want to grab when you're archiving is just in your main data folder. So, we're in data right now. I can back out. So, Starfield, and then data, and then the terrain folder. That's where you get these buddies right here. So, these are all overlays that I created, excuse me, last night or this morning for the mod when I restarted today, right? So if you're talking about what files do I package for it, that's just it right there. That's the only thing that you have to add additionally. If you just upload your ESP after you convert, or ESM after you've converted it from the ESP, if you just upload your ESM as is, then like your map marker and everything, it'll like show up if you have it set so you can see it from space and stuff like that. Like you'll be able to see the location, land at the location, and anything that you placed on the ground at the location, all that shit will be there. But the ground itself will not be the same. What you need is the block overlay that you created, which that's just in the Starfield data and then terrain, and those are the only things that get saved there. It kind of freaked me out because again, I've got a bunch. I don't just have 4 external locations. I got a bunch of internal locations. Internal locations, to my understanding, don't create a specific like sub file. They just always are as I've made them. So, and I've never had to grab anything separately for them. But then the process to like how to make them or whatever is actually super super easy. It's one of the first things that I was actually able to kind of competently understand. So check this out. We'll just make a dummy location. We'll make it. Oh no, we'll make it for the. We'll make it part of the. We'll make it part of the quest. Check this out. We just need to pick. This is not the order of how to do it. I need to pick a location first. This is probably gonna fucking crash my game clicking around too much in this shit. Let's go to Hey Ghost. Is it Alpha Marie or Beta Marie that has the planet that has all the resources for manufacturing Xenomaster stuff? If you don't remember, I made a video about it. It was a while ago. So it's not going to be super easy to find. I think it was Beta Marie. Because I made a video about making an outpost at a location that's good for the stuff for Xenos. It was Katie something? So, alright, let me see here. Oh, wrong mouse. This mouse. I think it was in Beta Marie. I think it was just Beta Marie 2. Because I always like Alpha Tierna, but I don't think it was Alpha Marie. I think it was Beta Marie 2. Katydid. There's a Katydid system? No, it was definitely in... There's a Katydad system? There's not. Oh shit, there is. Okay. You're right. There definitely is. No, it was definitely Beta Marie, I'm pretty sure. I got it on here. I'll find it. I'm scrolling through my videos right now real quick. Give me a second. I will still never forget, by the way, Ghost, you remember this shit? I need the community's help. 1 year ago today, I got on Ghost Discord, and Ghost and someone else were talking about some mod that somebody made with like 19 add-ons for it. And I was like, what are they talking about? So I go into creations and I look for myself, and somebody made a mod that turned all the NPC dudes naked and gave them a certain state of excitement. There was like 19 add-ons that changed the size and the amount of body hair and stuff. And salute to that troll that day. You know what I'm saying? I still have no idea. No one ever came forward with any information. I put forth 3 solid theories on why somebody might have done what they did. No one helped contribute to me actually understanding or knowing what they did. Shit was still funny though. Absolutely funny to me. Katie, is it Katie? It's not Katydid. I did a video on this. I'm pretty sure it's Beta Marie. I'm not going to sit here and watch the video. It should be in the thumbnail. I know it was like a year ago. Somewhere in there. I'm not going to waste that much more time. I know it hasn't been as long as it probably feels like in my head it's been, but... Come on, man. It's somewhere in here. Either way, if not, I'm just gonna pick Katydad or Katydid or whatever, and we're just gonna make a location in there. It's right here. The mysterious captain sends us to Beta Marie 1. So it's Beta Marie 1. So, fucking wrong computer. So we come over here. Let me just make sure we're looking at Beta Marie 1. Oh, it's even got a location right. Either way, so the order if you're trying to create, it's Katydid 3. Okay, we're just going with that because Ghost is Ghost. So Ghost knows best. We're going with what Ghost said. So Katie did 3. I don't know what type of biomes they got. We're just gonna wing it. So check this out. The first thing when you're creating a location that you got to do is go down to world data and then block. From here you got to pick like the actual starting terrain. So you could, I don't know how it works. You can completely customize the terrain. Like you can raise stuff, lower stuff, add stuff, whoop de whoop. I don't really know. I don't really know how to do that. But so like let's say field flat, and then you want to right click. Don't double click or nothing. You want to right click, preview block, and then that'll load it up in your render window. So I always hit T to get back to the top, and then I hold Shift and S to kind of back up. So there we go. We got us a mostly flat little area, right? So once we have previewed, and you could change it around, preview this one, preview that one, whatever. Find the one that you want. Once you found the one that you want to come up here to terrain, and then Control plus H would be the hotkey, but it's the landscape cutting. So again, if you just hit H, landscape editing, bet you we could edit that shit, but I've never done it, so we're just gonna hit landscape cutting, slide that over. So again, I can scroll, it's helly slow. If I hold Shift and S, kind of jumps it back a little better. But so this right here, this is kind of crucial, right? So I've seen everywhere the biggest recommended size is 6x6, and I'm not going to dispute that, right? That's probably the biggest that you should go if you're creating like an overlay, right? 6x6 is solid, but you have to nav mesh each one of these squares, right? So 6x6, a lot of squares. You can only really see like a 3x3 section for the most part at a time. You can maybe see like a 3x4 section, but again, when you got a 6x6 section that you're trying to nav mesh, pretty meticulous. So you also got to fill it out. If you don't fill out the environment in that, it's just going to look like a giant empty space amongst a bunch of other world, right? Which could be what you're going for, but if you're not making something massive, save yourself the trouble and just make it a little bit more like the size that you're probably going to need. And then once you've lined up that non-red shaded section, right, that's when we would go over to name. Real quick though, that red section, that's going to be the border. That's like the connection area between the overlay that we're creating and then the rest of the world around it. That's where it'll blend in and procedurally generate into the rest of the world around it. You cannot nav mesh in those areas. And I have figured out that if you pick a location block that's like say really elevated and jagged and you're putting it on a location that's not, it can give you issues with nav mesh at the borders because these things basically can't connect. So you do want to pick the appropriate template, block template for the appropriate surface location that you're going to go with to make sure that you can try to minimize or avoid any of those nav mesh connection issues. You also then want to limit how much extra space you're going to have to fill out and time you're going to have to take to clean up and fill out and make look good and nav mesh everything inside. So for this custom one, it's just going to be another potential list location. We're going to make it a 3x3, and my naming convention for these is math location overlay quest location queue location, and then I'll put potential list location. How do you spell it? Katie did 3. So that's how I'll name my overlays, and then I'll hit create. This is what you want. Touch on here. As long as you still see that terrain, you're good to go. Next up, galaxy view. We're going for katydid, and then we're going for katydid 3. We're going to click on this button right here to refresh. We're already on the overlays tab. There's no overlays on this planet by default. We picked a flat one, so what do we got? Hills. Got a bunch of hills. What I'm doing is if you click and hold on the right button on the mouse, you can kind of grab the location and move it around. And then when you click left click with the mouse, it'll put a little marker and you can see the biome that it's in. So it's hills. Lots of hills in this place. Pretty much only hills in this place. Pretty much hills or frozen plains. Let's go with these hills right here. So once you've picked your choice location, you click on this little bullseye buddy, add new world space, and then you're going to use an existing world space. My location, hit save. So the reason there's an option that says create, if you like Google search like I did how to do this, you'll get a bunch of ways that show you just jumping right to Galaxy View first, clicking a location, and then instead of doing the block template preview and creating that overlay first, it'll have you like cut the terrain specifically on the location that you chose within the Galaxy View window, right? And I had nothing but trouble getting that to work ever. And it's super clean, like for the process, and it's been flawless every time doing it this way. Figure out what terrain you want using the block templates, save that after you cut it into the grid size that you want, find your location in Galaxy View, find your specific location on the planet, add your existing world space overlay that you made. As long as you see the dimensions pop up, if that buddy said 0 by 0, we fucked it, right? But it says 500 by 500, we're good to go. Absolutely make sure you check is unique. You want to make sure it's unique. That's literally all you have to do with that. Exit out. You're like, oh man, Tommy, it's a black screen. No worries. If it stays like this, we're toast. We did something wrong. But if you click this, oh, and it snaps back. Look at that. You are in business. That's money. So, what's the last ways that you need to actually make sure you're sealed up tight, cross your T's, dotted your I's? We're going to go from world data down to location. And then in the location, we're going to right click and hit new. Give it a second to load up. So here for my naming, we're going to go math, location, and it's a quest location, potential list location, katydid 3. And we're going to call it potential list location katydid. For the parent location, this is super important for the biome and stuff. You gotta find, it starts out with the S. So S, katydid, HIJK, katydid, we're on katydid 3, and you want surface. I don't know what this base one is that doesn't have orbit or surface. Orbit is obviously the orbit above this location. Surface is then obviously the surface of this location. That's what we want our parent location to be. Other than that, hit OK. Give it a second. So then from here, let's clear out my filter. Just I always go right to the center, double click that buddy again, but then right here next to your world space that you're in, you're gonna hit this little buddy right here. We're gonna name it again, potential list location katydid. Don't worry about the parent world space here. Come over on the right hand side to location, and then filter out for your location that you just made. None of my other locations for queue location are available because they're already assigned as the location for their location or whatever, right? Oh, I also spelled it wrong. That's fine. I'll show you how to fix that. So check this out. So confirm, boom, good to go, good to go. But it's gonna bother me. Oh, where is it? I just saw that I had spelled it wrong. I didn't put an H on it. Reset this. How am I gonna find it? Oh. That's how. Take the H off because it's missing the H. There it is. All we gotta do, double click this, and then I can come up here, add the H, hit OK. It's gonna ask me if I want to create a new form. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fix the one that I already made. So no, yes, I want to rename that one. Now when I go into here, boom, now it shows up right. But that's literally, that's all you do to create a location that like actually like exists within the files of the game, right? That doesn't exist yet, like for us to actually get to and play, because we're missing a marker and we're missing a place to land. But that's technically all you need for a location. Now if you look in the terrain file, we'll back out. So we were in Starfield, just in the general data, double click terrain, boom. Now we got katydid. So again, for if we were going to upload or if we were going to pack the archives for what I'm working on right now with the locations that I have right now, we would be grabbing all of these, right? And that's all we would need to grab for those locations. Heck yeah. So then you might be like, well, what do you do to make it visible? We'll just finish up this part of the tutorial, right? So all you got to do is go into a ship landing, not in locations, under all. And then we need the furniture, that's the ship landing marker, 80-meter large. Wow. Oh, maybe here? No, that's worse. I clicked the F button to try to find the lowest like place on the ground for this marker. Maybe if we go on top of this like hill thing. If you hold Z, then you can move that buddy on the Z axis. Oh, there's not going to be a good spot. To be fair, this isn't bad. So, two things to consider when putting a ship landing marker right on the ground. One, if it's too far under the ground, you're going to get one of those warnings about a non-persistent link or whatever, and it's going to be bad. So you don't want to do that. But if you have your marker too high up off the ground, then you're going to look real dumb whenever you have your player get out of the spaceship and it's just hovering like a foot off the ground. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't say look dumb. Maybe you've got that incorporated into what you're doing and it makes sense. But like for what I've been building, it doesn't make sense if you get out of the ship and it's literally just sitting there, or not sitting there, it's just floating, right? So if you can get a good spot, which to be fair, this spot right here looks pretty solid to where I don't think it's going to be hovering. I think it's going to look like it's laying flat. So I think we're good there. But your only other option is to build a... so again, you want it to be low enough into the ground that it actually looks like it's sitting on the ground. But you don't want it too low into the ground, because if it's too low into the ground, it'll give you a warning about a bad link. So you want it in the sweet spot if you're going to put it on the ground. Otherwise, just put it on a landing pad. Thing that sucks about that, if you go to landing pad, it's like there's a bunch, sure, but like all of these ones have like a whole bunch of markers and shit like that I don't know what they do. And they're pack-ins, which means they're just going to be there, and you can unpack the pack-in. But guess what happens to me every time I unpack a pack-in? I get some warnings, so I don't use those. So the only options I really have, one, is just the not this, is the, I think it's this one, Outpost Landing Pad Foundation. This. I use this one, only this one. There's no markers, there's no weirdness. There's a little baby bit of foundation that you can play with. So you still need a relatively flat location. The one from Jay Ramos' video, I really like, really want to use it. It's super nice. And it's super easy to unpack and grab the bottom pieces to extend them out if you have to. My biggest problem, Jay Ramos doesn't have in his video, from what I've seen, what he did to fix it, but you can kind of see it in the blinking. If you're prone to seizures, don't look at this shit for a second, but there's a triangle right here inside where I'm circling that is a gap in the asset or whatever. Like that, just, it's empty. It's a hole. Picture it, a hole in the prop. And if you walk through it, you can, one, see that it's a hole as you're walking up to it. Two, if you walk through it, boom, you fall right inside. Three, this decal of some crosswalk stripes or whatever painted across it, shit's floating because it's a decal, a projection decal, so it doesn't care that there's no floor there. It works everywhere else, so it continues it. So yeah, that super annoys me. Don't know what to do. Guess what happens whenever I've unpacked the landing pad and tried to like extend over, duplicate, stretch out, anything, the floor pieces? Warnings. It's like close enough to the center for big enough ships. I don't want to put anything there because if I put anything there, it's going to have to be big enough to cover that area, and I don't want it to interfere with people's ships if they're playing the mod and they got a big ship. So like I really like, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. I really like that that pack-in for a landing pad, but I can't really use it. So okay, so this is something new that I've thought about trying to do more, Ghost, for sure. So like I even played around with it. Whenever I freshly load in to the creation kit, it has two render windows in this one screen because I have been using like the dev room that I make, and I've made even before interior locations that I just call staging rooms or whatever, staging platform, and then I'll literally just go through and just click on different locations and just start looking around and seeing what I can find and all that good stuff. So I have started doing that a little bit. That's some of the stuff if I get to it tonight on scripting, like not necessarily scripting, but specific keywords to trigger specific types of encounters and instances and stuff like that. Um, I've learned some of those not just from Zone 79 directly, is the biggest one who's helped me out with that, for what I'm thinking of specifically, like ship interactions and stuff. But I wanted to learn how to make a ship take off whenever a player landed at a location, and I learned that by going to the Crete location. I'm there anyway in this mod, but there's a ship every time you land at the Crete research facility that takes off, and I was like, I wonder how it does that. And that's what I did. I didn't steal it, like copy and paste it, but I just went into it, looked at how it was all set up, and was like, bet I'm duplicating that for sure. But back on this here real quick. So you put, I'm just going to kill the camera real quick. I don't want to smoke a cigarette on camera. Smoking cigarettes is bad for your health and it's expensive. Don't start it. It's a bad habit. How do I kill this? Wow, there we go. I'm still here, and since you can't see me, I'll try to actually keep the progress going for a second here. But so we got our landing pad in, right? I'm all over the place, man. We got our landing pad in. Next thing we need is a map marker. So we're just gonna grab this map marker here, and we're gonna slap that buddy down there. I'm gonna hold Z, and then drag it up. I like to keep the map markers a little bit off the ground. Only other thing we need to make it official, X marker heading. And then we're going to put this little buddy right there. Well, I'm looking at the ship. Yeah. So if you hit W, you can pull up this little gizmo that has 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. Hit W to get rid of it again. Not Z, X, Y, and something else, because that's the Z axis. You can also get, well, no, it's X, Y, and Z, I think, on W, because then if you hit Z, you get just that one. X, you get just that one. Is it? I don't think it's W, though. I don't know. Also, if anybody knows, how do you rotate? J-Ram must be clicking a button. Literally just like clicking a single button, and it'll rotate 90 degrees, whatever object he's got clicked. I don't know what button he's hitting to rotate, and I wish that I knew how to rotate objects with the keystroke. That would be so much better than going into this, or going into the 3D data, or going into the 3D data within the edit of the object itself. If I could just click a button to rotate, that would be clutch. But these are the 3 things you need to finalize the location. We'll start out at the map marker. Hold right click on your mouse. If you hold right click on the mouse, it'll rotate? No way. I'm about to do it. I mean, obviously I believe you, but... So real quick, so go to link references, new, select reference. We're from the map marker. We're going to select the landing pad, hit OK. Also on our map marker, we're going to make sure we add a reference keyword. It's a location type for the filter, and we're going to put location type outpost. And then the last thing we got to do is go over to marker data. Marker data, we're going to use the location name. Its unexplored name is going to be, we're going to call this same as all the other ones. Mysterious signal. Alright, we're just going to put mysterious signal for now. Its type is going to be an outpost. No cat. So look, no matter what you pick for type, right? Doesn't matter about the icon that's going to show up on the star map. Category does. Depending on what you click here, that's going to show up on the star map. It'll just say like structure, or it'll just say like life signs. So I always keep that at none. Radius, we're going to put at 200, and we're going to make it visible on the star map. Allow grab jump, and you can travel to, but it's going to be undiscovered until you actually get to the planet. And that's all you need. You hit OK. So then you go to the ship landing pad, and you need to add a linked reference. From there, select reference, the heading, hit OK, OK, and save, because now we have officially just created a location. Anything and everything that you need to do for a location from start to finish. We made the overlay template, we chose the spot on the planet, we made an actual location, we made sure that it was all linked together with a map marker, a landing pad, and an X marker heading. Now if we were to go into the game, I don't even know where Katydid is in the game, but check this out. So we'll make sure it's safe. This is super cool to me. Watch it crash it. Everything else has gone against me tonight. But so if I hit Starfield and play, we give it a second. Maybe. Yeah, check that out. PC gaming. Oh, anybody who ever watches this and has been rocking with me for a while, you know how wild that is, right? Literally everything I play, everything I've been doing on this channel for basically the entirety of this channel, all on my phone. It's like the first time I've ever on this channel actually loaded up a video game on a computer. Which is kind of wild to me, right? So we're going to go into the creations, and we will make sure that we have our ESP in place. We don't have to pack anything because we're on the device that has all the files. Look at this! Shameless plug! Shameless plug! You can't get that one right now. You can't get that one, but you can get any of these. You can get any of these. Anybody and everybody watching, if you haven't tried them yet, I hope you play them. The storyline and the locations, everything is completely redone in the all-in-one that I'm doing. But the spirit absolutely continues through, right? It's the exact same overall idea, just tightening up, going from like a rough draft to a more final draft version of both of these in order, and then we're adding a third piece to give a proper conclusion. So it'll end up being Humble Beginnings is the first part of the main quest, Bring a List is the second part of the main quest, and then A List of Conspiracies is the third part of the main quest. Just like the two that are out right now, how they have patches to patch in Xenomaster as well as Ironside by Thorgen Ironside. We'll do one of those for the AIO as well. And Matt's Members Only's McFly Weapon Pack, only for members. If members of the channel, you can be a member of the channel for just $5 a month. But members of the channel are the only people that if anybody was like, hey Tommy, now that you have the ability to try to make mods, will you make this mod for me? Only for members. Members are the only ones who get that. Otherwise, there's not really a reason to be supporting me for $5 a month, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing really anything different than a bunch of other people already do. I acknowledge that, you know what I'm saying? But I like to think I'm better because I'm different, because of me. But in regards to like humans as a whole, we're all really similar, you know what I'm saying? But if you wanted a reason to justify, man, I want to support this guy, I got a mod idea that I want to pitch out. That's the only way I'm going to acknowledge it anyway. But for my homie Marty, shout out Marty McFly, big time supporter of the channel. Much love, my friend. I appreciate you. Hope you're safe on the road right now. But he requested 2 weapons. I put those in there. And I haven't touched this location specifically in any of the stuff that I've been doing. So you can always absolutely continue working Matt's Members Only McFly Weapon Pack into the same load order as the AIO we're putting together. Oh, heck yeah! We ain't swapping roles. No. You just inspired that part of me that is like, I need to figure out how to do this on my own. I need to do this on my own. I want to be in this section one day. I'm not gonna lie, I started applying for the Verified Creator Program before I even ever got into the creation kit to begin with. It said you can apply with no experience with mods, and you can link YouTube videos, so I showed them my videos of like me reviewing other mods. I ain't even gonna lie, I tried to like name drop people. I'm like, hey man, these verified creators that are already verified creators are like super cool people and have been willing to help me out along the way. Ghost, I ain't even gonna lie, I was like, I've worked directly with verified creator Ghostwriter on mods that they're doing, helping to try to provide some voice work. So, and I'm soon to get I started doing it when I knew I was gonna get my hands on this computer. So I would put like, I'm about to start getting into the creation kit. And then like 4 times now, over the past 2 months, I don't know if they ever reject you outright, like if it says you just been denied, but like 4 times it said that there was like an error or something in my application and that I needed to resubmit my application. So I've like resubmitted that application 4 times. Maybe I've been denied like 3 times. I don't know. But you know, persist we will. I will keep submitting that application. I always wanted to get a blue check on something, and you know what I'm saying, when you got the ability to buy it on Twitter, I was like, fuck that, I don't really care about that one anymore. I want one of these though. It might be petty, vain, dumb, whatever, I don't care. I don't even care about this shit. I genuinely don't. I might make a paid mod if somebody really wanted an achievement friendly version of a mod, but other than that, Like the AIO I'm working on, even if I became a verified creator today and was ready to upload it tomorrow, fucking free. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about that. I want fucking that. That's what I want. That blue check. One day we'll get up in there. And one day soon, we're going to get back to looking at all these and reviewing all these. We're not going to do them like my homie Crimson. We won't go into it, but you know what I'm saying? He gets free credit sometimes from Bethesda, and he likes doing this. I'm not going through all this shit, but I will absolutely go through all the ones that speak to me personally. And definitely a bunch of my homies have new stuff out that I can't wait to check out. As much as I love making, working on the mod that I've been trying to work on, I absolutely also, you guys already know, love reviewing my friends' work and showing off my friends' work and talking about how awesome all of my friends are and look at what they can do. So definitely am excited to get back to that soon enough for sure. Bro, so yeah, so look, I'll even show it off right now, Ghost. So, are you talking about the like the Starborn city that homie's been doing? Check this out, everybody, real quick. So, if you go to Sly Savage, is that gonna work? That should work. Yes. Look at this. So, the Sly So Savage Starborn Unity City Quest. Once this loads up. So I also don't have, in the how that says requires Terran Armada and stuff like that. I only have the base Starfield on Steam. So like I'm not rolling with anything other than the base game and the base game updates. And I'm not using any of the extra Starfield files, like they include like the Trackers Alliance or anything like that. But dude, look at this. Look how much it's grown. Lighting is a bitch. We'll talk about lighting at some point. Lighting is a bitch, for sure. I can already tell. That right there, I already know what Sly's going through. Lighting is a fucking bitch. That looks good, though. I really like this. That buffet of food, that looks really good. Look at this. Is that in the game, or is that a custom asset? I don't know. That waterfall I'm talking about. I honestly don't know. I don't know how to get out of this. There we go. That's gonna kill these. Yeah, man, Sly's been putting in work. Look at this. Guys. Oh, what? Got a robot follower out now? What? See, he's figured it out. He's fucking figured it out. I need to message Sly. I need to message Sly. Thea, if you see this before I talk to Sly, tell Sly I need to talk to Sly. Ghost, tell Sly I need to talk to him. Oh, I need to talk to fucking Sly. Dude, he has been... See, look at this, man. I've been away from the game for so long, bro. Like a month or two now. Damn near 2 months. Oh, man. I'll say, I already know not only Cryomancers, but where's it at? I put out a teaser video for it even. I haven't done nothing with it since. Where's it at? Where is it at? A, B, C, D, E, F, G... Where's Headhunter at? Isn't Headhunter on here? Is it called something else? There it is. The Headhunter. Gotta grab that. I know it has a 0 up here. Next week we might have to change that. Oh, see, that's fucking cool. So I learned that. So this is what I need to learn from Zone. Zone, if you see this, guess what I'm gonna ask you here soon enough, buddy? Because I got some stuff kind of like this going on. This specifically, there's some stuff kind of like this going on that I know how to do this, but how did you do this? The terrain, it actually looks like it hit and slid up a little bit, and it's like it's rolled. Oh, I wish I could rotate the camera and see how you did that. That's what I can't yet figure out. See on the sides how it actually looks like it's. How did you do that? You had to have cut the terrain specifically with that. I don't know how you did it. I need to learn that. I need to learn that. Oh, there's so much great stuff. But look, let's finish up. Oh, man. Yeah, good. Load order. T. We'll keep the fast start in there. And we need to make sure this is loaded up. Yeah, definitely messaging Sly. Okay, so if you haven't started lighting, I'm about to turn my face cam back on in a second too. But if you haven't started your lighting yet for it, I'm gonna just let you know again. Lighting is a bitch. I'm not gonna lie. Lighting a external location, not as much of a bitch. That one's not too bad. Lighting a internal location is a fucking bitch. Especially for caves, bro. So like the only thing I can figure out that actually makes the cave lighting look semi-decent is to choose a environmental map called Black Cube. And so it puts like a black cube of pitch blackness around the location that you're building internally. And then you have to build your lights out, like all of your lights out, because you're just in pitch black. So like, yeah, lighting sucks. But I figured out some techniques. So like if I go for like the type of lighting that makes it playable, and if you think hard enough about it, you're like, this doesn't make sense. How is it this well lit with what we see around us? If you think about it too much, you might start, you know what I'm saying, falling down that path. But if you're just going through playing and you're locked in on what you're playing and you're not necessarily just like thinking about how the ambient lighting works in the area that you're in, then you know what I'm saying, not too bad. Hey, we're back. This is taking a minute to load. I don't think this is good that it's taking this long to load. It normally didn't take this long. There we go. Are we going? Huzzah! I'll give you a couple little teases into some stuff going on, right, for what we're doing with this mod. I don't have the actual stuff like scripted out yet in the quest for it to actually show, but some of the locations we'll be able to see. Some. Oh yeah, I gotta pick a background. Alright, come on, come on, come on, come on. But instead of having, when you get to New Atlantis, instead of having it right here, where it was in Humble Beginnings, we have moved it over here, a little bit more out the way. Also tried to lessen the footprint a little bit, you know what I'm saying, less overall clutter, more strategic. We do got a Hallowed Devil's Recruit hat, gives you a little bit of physical and energy resistance. And then in here we got a Xeno sandwich and the Xeno Piss energy drink. Check this buddy out. We got a transfer. Xeno Piss energy drink. Powerful beverage made from Xeno extracts infused with caffeine. A favorite among Xeno masters. It gives you a plus 30% movement speed for 10 minutes and plus 10% oxygen recovery for 3 minutes. Get you some Xeno sandwiches. I just grabbed one. It's a sandwich made from Xeno-sourced ingredients. That buddy restores 20 health and gives you a 20% O2 recovery for 5 minutes. Check that out. Trying to play with some custom food and some custom clothing a little bit. But we could pick up that slate there, and it would do like normal, or like if you played Humble Beginnings like you're used to, and it would send you back to the lodge. What we want to see though is the location that we just took like an hour to figure. It takes like 30 seconds if you're not rambling like me and going on and on like me. Look at this. Unknown. We got an unknown buddy right there. I wonder what that could be. Old Hallowed Devil's camp location, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, we gotta go. I gotta figure out where Katydid is. I have no idea. What's the button? What's the button I gotta hold? I know how to do it on the... I don't want to show me. I want to... What button do you click on the computer so that way you can see all their names? Alt. Thank you. Friggin' clutch. Where is Katydid? Oh shit, it is far. Oh fuck. Okay. Okay, so we gotta get to Violi. That's fine. Olympus. Right on, for sure. We can real quick in Olympus show you what we're getting to in Katydid. It's just that I already made it. But if we look at Nisoi and we open up the planet map, we see what it put a random POI like right next to ours. What is a defunct broadcasting station? What is that? And it's literally in the same location as our shit. But anyway, mysterious signal. If we land there, what is that broadcasting thing? I should not be sipping that coffee. It is way too late. So wait, so Ghost, I got a bunch of POIs. I have locations on Nisoi, Sumati, Tirna 2, spoilers, Ptolemy 2. So I do have POIs on those 4 locations. All 4 of those locations also have either a cave or a bunker interior location. And then Crete and New Atlantis behind the lodge also have interior locations that I'm playing with. But you see here, we loaded at the Nisoi potential list location. We got a little landing pad that the player can land at. This is not at all done. Again, if you saw the dates on the files, I started rebuilding this mod this morning. But you would land here. There is a quest stage that triggers when you approach this, and then we'll reposition this somewhere else. But there's the 2 quest stages that you get at Nisoi or at this potential list location is when you come here, and then when you finally pick this up, which then sends you out. But just like in Humble Beginnings, the potential list location is absolutely fully buildable for the player, right? So every location except for one that is in this mod, the player can do this. They can actually build a full-on outpost. I say that, full-on outpost. I can't figure out how to fucking get it to show up in your crew assignment page. So like, you can build extractors, you can build transfer containers, you can build... I haven't tested out cargo links, to be fair. I don't know if cargo links work or not. But, like, in regards to, like, the localized stuff you can do at an outpost, good to go except for being able to place crew. Even if you put a crew station in, I have yet to have that then make the outpost show up for a crew assignment. And that's even with me like choosing the ownership of the beacon as the player faction, setting the ownership of the location to the player faction. I just can't get the location to show up as the actual like an assignable location. I'm sure if you were using old bards, what's the mod he's got? It like gives you a neural link basically where you can assign players, or you can assign NPCs to player homes and such like that. But maybe that would make it work. I don't know. But the recruitment beacon works. So like you could put the Bard's Outpost recruitment beacon in right here. NPCs start showing up. You know what I'm saying? So like that works. But you cannot assign, for how I'm currently doing it, to my understanding of how it can be done, you can't actually assign a crew to it. Yes! Yes, please. Please find out. If you find out, that would be so clutch. Because that's what I want, obviously, right? Like, I want the player to be able to assign crew at these places. That's the whole point. Build them up, station them up, fill them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole point. But I don't know how to do it yet. So, but yeah. So that's what we're looking to do on Katydid. Katydid is hella far. Let's see what happens if we, one of the most underrated mods ever, the cheat terminal. Such a great mod. Well, let's see if any of these are. So what do we do, like God mode and oxygen, infinite grab jump distance, instant grab jump. Yeah, let's just go with that. I still can't believe this defunct broadcasting station is literally right here at my shit. I don't like that. Oh well though. So can I do it now? Can I jump to it now? That's not it. Alt. Where did it go? Where the fuck did it go? It was like Violi, and then it was down. Really over this far? Yeah, it was. Katie did. Oh. So the distance doesn't matter if it's still unexplored. Okay. Hey, Raven! What's up, Raven? Night's going well. Hope your night's going well as well. Just waiting for Britt to get off work and get back home so we can start celebrating her birthday weekend. Woo-hoo! Right? Reminder again to anybody watching now or who's going to watch in the future. Britt's birthday's tomorrow, so make sure to let her know happy birthday for sure. And all that good stuff, right? That's what I'm doing. I was intending on getting a lot more done, like on screen, for this mod that I'm working on. But, you know, even with the passage of time, you know, one thing that holds true, I just fucking ramble. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just ramble, and I start losing track of what I'm doing. That thing is so far away. But, I mean, we showed some stuff, I guess, from the creation kit. Right. Oh, no fuel. I will probably before the end of the stream, which will probably be coming up here in like, probably like 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes to 50 minutes, somewhere in that window. That's why I said 40. But I will show off a tease of the quest line. Not any of the lore or anything like that, but I will show off a tease of kind of how it plays out. Yay, level 2 from exploring. Right now, for anybody who's because of my rambling, forgot what I'm doing. We Starfield Eclipse had asked a while ago about locations, and I think that I answered quickly. I think it was just about like what to pack. I think that's all it really was, not like how to make it. But I took it as being like, hey, let me show off something that I actually do kind of know how to do and I'm comfortable doing. So I'll show off how to make a location, and that's what we're trying to do now. Is we made the location, we're trying to get to the location. Still definitely not leaving the CK open in the background. Okay, we're getting close. We're one planet away. One planet away from... Oh my gosh. Somebody's jumping in that's an enemy. At least we're jumping systems and should be able to get away. Where are you at? No, I didn't mean to hit you. I am kind of glad though that you guys went with this location, that we went with this location, because it's further. So like picture like the overall star map. The mod quest part that I'm working on right now basically is in this first section cluster where the player starts out already, and this kind of pushes it out right to that middle stage. You're still not all the way at the end. It's pushed out more to that middle stage, so I kind of like it. I'm gonna definitely incorporate this at the end of the current quest line, and now we gotta get to 3, and definitely have it as part of the tease for the next quest mod that I'll work on. This is like the only actual playing I've done in like 2 months, is literally doing this. Going to what I just made and hoping that it works. But we finally got to Katydid 3, which is where we went for our custom location that we did. Again, we put in that until you explore it, it's just a mysterious signal. Once we explore it, it should rename itself to potential list location. This one though, if you remember, different from Nisoi. Nisoi, I had one of those landing pad foundations in. This one we don't. So, fingers crossed that the landing pad marker that we used is in a good spot and it makes the frontier actually look like it's landed as opposed to just floating. Alright, potential list location, Katydid. And the frontier's on the ground! Yeah! Yeah, yeah! Check it out. You can tell it's at an angle right here, right? Can you see a little bit more of the front foot showing than the back? But it's still at a good spot. It doesn't look like it's floating. Everything is touching all the way around. I am thrilled with that for sure. Right? It's such a bitch when it floats, bro. It really is. Because especially like when I'm like the view that I'm looking at most of the time, like I really think it looks good and I build all around it and stuff, and then I get to test it in game and I'm like, no, why? Why is it not working? But that works. Heck yeah. That's how you make a location. If nothing else, in the past 2 months, we figured that out. You know what I'm saying? We figured that out, if nothing else. We'll go ahead and save it right here outside of Katydid. And then, so one thing I figured out, if I hit quit and then I just confirm it, it freezes. Even if the creation kit's not running in the background, if I just hit confirm, it'll just lock up and I have to restart the entire laptop. But consistently, if I hit desktop, it does it with absolutely no issues, and it doesn't lock up. It says running still, but give it a second. Boom, we're good. And then we're right back into the creation kit. Look at that. That placement right there. worked out flawlessly. And I'll go ahead and follow up with another thing that I'm pretty confident in doing now, show how it's done. So, how did we make the outpost or whatever at Nisoy, right? So even though I don't know how to make it assignable for your crew, I could at least show how we do it. I have three different outpost beacons that I've created new forms for, two different player homes. The main reason is, so like this one, it shows up as potential list location. This one, when you go to interact with it, it says rejected list location. And then the one behind the lodge, it pops up as rebuild the old camp, right? Oh. It says error, no data. I don't know if I'm still on or if it dropped it. I know that the connection looks really low, but I think it's still going. I don't know why all of a sudden the internet's going super, super laggy. I don't know what changed. Now it says excellent again. Are we back? I think it's back. Might have lost everybody in that. I don't know what happened. It just it told me error and that it was going like really poor quality on the stream. And then I see where Ghost said buffering, and then I see Raven with the sad face. We back! Yay! Right on. Right on. Okay, so I don't remember what was I saying? Oh, this one says rebuilding the old camp. Whatever. We're just gonna pick it up like nothing happened. Oh, it kicked me out. Kicked me out of the chat. So I can't see what anybody's saying. Ghost, I'm sorry, give me a second. Gotta put in a password again? Come on. Oh, now I gotta two-factor it? Oh, come on. Yes, it's me. Now we're back. Now we're back. Okay, so what I was doing was showing off the Outpost Beacon activators, right? Well, we back. Right on. YouTube gave you a strike? What? Just gave you a strike? Like right now? What? That's so messed up, bro. It does it to Zone too. I told Zone that as well. I was like, bro, you know that Ghost, like, literally, for some reason, YouTube like has a vendetta against allowing Ghost to comment or say anything. Cause Zone, that was one of the first times he messaged me. He was like, bro, I literally have tried to say this like 4 times in a comment, and YouTube just keeps deleting it or whatever. I don't even have any moderation things set like that. Because, I mean, most of you guys know me, like, no, I like messing with trolls sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't ever had, to be fair, I don't want one, so, like, disclaimer before I say this, but, like, I haven't really had any, like, bad trolls or anything, but, like, sometimes when people just randomly drive by talking shit or whatever, like, I have fun with it, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't have any crazy moderation things in place or anything. I have no idea. But yeah, you Ghost, it does it to you. I know YouTube does you everywhere, but at least for me, or on my channel, Zone did it to him too. I don't know. But how do you make a location an outpost, right? So we've seen Katie did the location. Why is it not moving? Oh my gosh, I am an idiot. I am literally holding down the shift key on the stream laptop, wondering why it's not doing. But we built the location, we placed it on the map, we created the actual location, like card, if you will, and then we put these markers in. That's all we've done, right? We did at the map marker choose the location type, um, what you call it, player outpost or whatever. But you need to have an actual outpost beacon, otherwise it's not going to work, right? So we're going to make this one. We said it was a potential list location. So we'll put that buddy here. I like to have the panel facing towards the ship. And then I'm always super worried about floating, especially so we were joking about it, right? And but legitimately, like when Raven said, "Yay, no floating frontier." If anybody that watches my Starfield stuff has also watched my Fallout 4 stuff, that's one of the things you'll hear me talk about probably the most when it comes to Fallout 4 building. I fucking hate floating buildings. And I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like a hater, but like the people on Reddit that be showing off these builds, and they'll be like, I spent 400 hours redoing Sanctuary. What do you think? And it covers the entirety of Sanctuary, but it's elevated and it's only supported by a single beam at one random obscure part of the build. Like even if everything above like that main starting level for what they added and up, even if everything else is really fucking cool, bro, that doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's floating. It does not work. I do not like floating buildings. I don't know why. It's petty. I feel like it makes me sound like, I don't know, like pretentious or snotty or something like that. Like, and I don't want to present that way, obviously, right? But like, I just cannot. Like, do you, if you're fine with floating buildings, I'm completely supportive of you enjoying your game and having your fun. But for me, I cannot stand anything floating. So like, do I want it in the ground like that? No. But if I just hit F, like, yes, that's sitting on the ground, and yes, this all looks fine. I feel like that is not going to be an issue, but it's close enough for me that, you know, just a little one of those. We're on a soft ground anyway. If it's sunk in a little bit, it doesn't bother me. I would rather have it slightly sunk in than have it floating all day, any day. That's an easy one for me. But once you place your outpost beacon, you double click that bad boy, or you can right click and edit, doesn't matter. But you have to add a linked reference to that map marker. That's why I made the radius for the map marker 200, is so now this outpost beacon that's linked to this map marker, it'll use the same radius of the map marker, and you'll be able to build within that 200 that I put on the map marker. For ownership, again, I leave it at none. I've put this under the player faction. It didn't matter for anything. I'm sure it would matter to put it under an enemy faction, depending on what you were building specifically. But for what we're doing, our intents and purposes, none for faction is absolutely fine. So we just hit OK. Last thing is, I saw this, and was my interpretation at least of it, when I saw like how to build an outpost beacon, like a usable outpost beacon or whatever in the creation kit. It said basically, so I don't know if it meant like how I have new forms for all these outpost beacons instead of using the original form. I don't know if it meant to just make a new form, but the word that was used that I saw was duplicate. So what I do additionally, it might be redundant, but I duplicate that outpost beacon and then I just bury it. And that's literally it. So every location from my current quests that are, or quest mods that are out, this AIO that I'm redoing them for, that's how all of these outpost locations work. Is literally just the map marker and the outpost beacon plus a hidden outpost beacon, making sure that the map marker is set to a location type outpost, making sure that the beacon is both an original form linked to that map marker, and then I duplicate the beacon and hide that duplicated beacon. I don't know if that part's necessary. I do know that I finally figured out Downfall Nemesis had told me when I was struggling with player homes to use a empty trigger to establish the build area because I couldn't get the decorate pad itself to work, and that maybe that would help make it work or whatever. I figured out if I just actually get the decorate pad like flush with an actual wall, like meshed properly into the wall, I don't have to have any empty trigger at all. I don't have to have anything at all. Literally, you just put. So like I have two of them right here. One of them's for the Hallowed Devils. The other one's for in a cave. We'll just leave it at that. But those you literally just place them on the wall, and as long as they're meshed properly into the wall, they work. That's literally it. So you do not need to necessarily establish with a marker or some sort of like empty trigger or anything like that. You don't need to use anything like that for a player house or for an outpost, because you can set the build radius for the player house within the decorate pad itself, and you can once you link your outpost beacon to a map marker, whatever radius you have on that map marker is going to be your build radius for that outpost. Right. Yay! So we covered a couple useful things, and to be fair, those are things that I didn't necessarily have to ask somebody directly how to do. I just Googled and used Google AI, and it did its best guessing, and any chance it possible, it redirected me to Jay Ramos, whether the video it was recommending had anything to do with the question that I was asking or not. That's probably why that was like, this is the resource I got. There's other ones too, but it's just not stuff that is necessarily relevant to what I'm doing right now. I have found that like 510 Deshaun, I'm a big fan of their Project Warfare, right? Project Warfare, I think that's what it was called. But the gun pack mod, I used to rep it all the time back in the day. 510 stopped making mods for Starfield for a while. I stayed following their YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying? Dude started making like a fitness app and stuff like that. Thought it was super cool, you know what I'm saying? But I think they've been teasing recently, getting back into some modding maybe, I don't know. But 510's got a playlist with some creation kit tutorials. Just not a lot of stuff relevant to what I'm doing right now. Something Wicked 3, who I talked about at the beginning of the stream, they have a playlist with a few different tutorials for stuff in the creation kit. Again, not necessarily overly relevant to the stuff I'm doing here. I'm gonna go back through a bunch of Ghosts live streams that Ghost has done on their YouTube channel. I know a bunch of those were mod making, testing, stuff like that. So definitely gonna have to go dig back through some of those and see what little nuggets I can steal from there. Those are really though like the only real public places I know. Eleanor also has a couple creation kit videos from when the creation kit was first put out. I'm drawing a blank on anybody else. There's probably more people, but like that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to do a lot of stuff in the creation kit tonight, and I really want throughout the rest of the summer to try to make more of a emphasis on trying to prioritize doing some live stream stuff. One, I keep working on a mod as opposed to playing a game or reviewing mods, so like I haven't put up a new upload in like a month. You know what I'm saying? Ad revenue is grinded to a halt. But it's because I've been doing this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm having fun doing this. So I should probably combine the two, right? Can't really record on my phone when I'm working on this. after work before I go to bed, you know what I'm saying? But maybe if the opportunity arises, we can try to prioritize more streaming, what we're actually doing, not just catching up. But to be fair, I haven't streamed in like 6 months, so the rambling should be expected. I'm a talker, and we haven't talked in a while, everybody watching, so had to get some caught talking, catching up, caught back up, something like that back in. But we did cover some things, and I want to cover more. That's what I was doing. Bookend this thought before I lose it again and move on to the next. That's what I was trying to do here. Add my name to that list of people that are trying to make content for other people that are like me, that are trying to make content and looking for other people's content to help guide them on how they can do what they want to do. Aside from all those public places, I know Ghost, I know for sure if I ask Ghost, hey bro, how do I do this? And it was something that Ghost knew, I already know Ghost would let me know, hey, just do this, this, and this. I'm going to reach out to Sly. I know Sly would do that exactly. There's a verified creators Discord that I'm a part of that's got a bunch of people like Alundra, Eleonora, bunch of the same people that are going to be in a bunch of different Discords, to be fair. OG Tennessee, their Discord has a bunch of awesome creators in there talking about different stuff from Matilja, you know what I'm saying, is in there. See a lot of their stuff in there. But also Darkstar Discord. Be remiss if I didn't say that's probably one of the mega spots for Starfield modders. To try to find them and reach out to them and be accessible to them, you know what I'm saying? Tons of people willing and wanting to help out in those places for sure. And homie, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody that's helped me out directly. Eclipse has helped me out directly. Tank Girl for sure. Tank Girl has helped me out and is awesome. But Zone, big shout out to my homie Zone. He's probably not going to see this. We're like 2 hours into a stream. But legitimately taking time on like 2-3 different things that I just couldn't figure it out. And I was rapid firing like questions and like, I'm an overtalker, so I'm like, I'm trying this and this, and I figured this, and I thought because of this and this, but I want this to work, but this isn't going on. And dude just hit me back with some videos that he made, literally just showing me, do this first, then do this, then do this. Money. Like, watch this. That's how we're going to end it, because we're getting close to when I'm about to start getting ready for the end of the night here. But watch this. We don't want it at this location. We're going to save here. And then we're going to go back to Nisoy. So check this out. We're not going to do it in full, but let's say I get a ship landing marker, and let's say I slap that buddy right there. Why does that look so big? It's because it's way up in the sky. What are you doing? Let's say you come over here. Oh, I don't want you to be looking stupid. You're just gonna be looking stupid, but it's okay because I'm not worried about it landing. I want to show the part that I figured out, right? So the part that I couldn't figure out was how to get a ship to land at a specific point in time. So Zone showed me that first we need, let's just go fleet. You need to put down a landing pad, and then you need a ship file, which the ship files are the GBFM files. Those are all the ships. So we're going to go to the leveled ship, Crimson Fleet, C Combat. We're just going to grab this buddy here. Put it right here. We're going to raise it up. So, to get it to land on that landing pad, right? We need to double click. I can show both, I guess. I'll show both. I think I have enough time. But we're going to double click it, and we're going to choose faction. It's Crime Faction, Crimson Fleet. And then we're going to come over here to link reference, new, select, We're going to double click that landing pad and we have to add a keyword, spaceship, and it's going to be spaceship enabled landing link. And we're going to hit OK. We're also in the keywords going to add BED for BE dropship. Hit OK. And we're also going to add for BES BE surface crew 25. So you don't have to do this necessarily. So what the dropship keyword does is let you know that this ship is going to land and then go. The BE surface crew is if I want it to land and player makes it inside, it actually has some crew before it goes. If you want it to just be landed, like sitting there, then you would just pick the one that said BE surface or the one with the crew or whatever. You wouldn't use the dropship, I don't think. I don't know. Either way though, we don't need this one. You can add that one, but you don't need it. The main ones that we need is the link reference and then the keyword, right? So we hit OK. Last thing we want to make sure is that the ownership for this landing pad is not one that the player can access. Crimson Fleet. That's it. So the only other thing that we could do is we could add some players, but this isn't, or some NPC enemies, whatever. It's not nav mesh though, so we're not going to do that. But we want to make sure that the ship is initially disabled. So it's an initially disabled ship that has a spaceship enable disabled link keyword for a reference link to the landing pad itself, which is also owned by the same faction. The last thing we need is going to be, I want to learn, so I've been studying more recently from J Ramos Works, not default, I meant empty, using the enable disabled trigger, not trigger, there's a different one that he used that looked like it was better, that he was using to like spawn in robots and stuff like that. I need to check that one out. But this way, like I want to see how that way works, but this way works just as well. Oh, Ghost, I know you're throwing out tips for sure, for sure. I was trying to make sure I cover my bases, but legitimately, dude, you were the GOAT. You already know that. I've literally been trying to study from everywhere. I'm in like 20 different channels. You know what I'm saying? Like just trying to just observe and study. Other people be asking questions, and I'm like, mental bank this, because I might come back to that idea myself. But this is what I'm looking for. Empty trick. I think no. Yeah, it is. That's what I'm looking for. So we'll put this empty trigger right here. We'll put it over this. And we'll make it a little bit bigger. So what we're doing is setting up an empty trigger that when the player enters this area, it will trigger that ship to enable. So we double click it, link reference, new, click, and yep, that should be it. That should be all we have to do, I think. Oh? So I haven't seen that yet, but to be fair, I've put beds in places aesthetically, but I haven't actually tested if they actually work to sleep in, so that is strange. See, so okay, wait. So I just went back up a little bit too. So Ghost, you've messed with the actual terrain cutting, like not just cutting out the block, but actually messing with manipulating the terrain. I haven't done that yet. I haven't been that brave. I'm not gonna lie. This empty trigger, I might be doing something wrong. That might not be the trigger that I'm supposed to use. That might not be the trigger, but we're gonna find out real quick. It might be another trigger. This is gonna be the last thing we do, because I want a cigarette. So I'm gonna cut off the camera real quick. This is probably gonna be the last thing we do, like I was saying, but this should work. I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the empty trigger that makes that work. Oh, okay, so that makes sense. Editing the terrain can cause the bug that causes the beds not to be sleepable. I could see that. Do you think one of these earlier autosaves is gonna be fucking closer to Nisoi? No. No, I don't think that. This one would be the closest one. I don't know where that one was at. I'm looking for the message real quick while this is loading in. Oh, Doc Vanguard. Shout out Doc Vanguard. They're also another homie that's helped me out on some stuff. Don't want to be remiss not to mention everybody. I think I'm on the right video. Okay, it's right here, right here. Oh, fuck. Sorry. I know I'm just sitting here spaced out. I'm watching this, trying to see the specific marker again, and making sure. Not the X marker, don't care about that. Where Katie did, so we gotta go ways back. I did pick wrong. I did pick wrong. It's okay though. So look, we're gonna get back first to Nisoi. Jeez. OMG, we got such a long way to go. But it's not the empty trigger, it's the enable disabled, it's the default enable disabled trigger, something like that. I picked the wrong one. We're gonna go back to it. I don't know how loud that TV is, by the way. I didn't even think about that till right now. I don't know if it's super loud on the stream or not. All I'm doing right now is basically getting in front of Nisoi. And then we'll save, exit out, go back to the creation kit real quick just to put the right trigger in. and then we'll be able to reload right there at Nisoy to be able to see this. Oh, OG Tennessee in the house. What's up, my friend? Been going for a little bit tonight. I've been trying. I had every intention of being productive with this mod that I've been away from reviewing other people's mods for like 2 months because I've been trying to finish it. We're not going to talk about how I also restarted building it again today. But, I'm a talker, and I've been gone for a while from streaming, so, I've been talking a lot. That's basically it. I have shown off how to do a few things that I've learned in the creation kit. I only don't got the cam up because I'm smoking a cigarette real quick, and as much as I personally love my cigarettes, I don't condone people smoking cigarettes. They're expensive as shit, if nothing else. But, I'll get the cam back on in a second, but the last thing I was showing off was Zone helped me out with one thing specifically that I could not figure out, and then I was proud of myself, I was able to figure out how to do the reverse of it on my own. Oh fuck, I didn't mean to quit all the way, that's fine. But this is the wrong trigger. So first thing I'll do is I'll come in here and we're gonna remove this. I can't remove it from here. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna remove this. Yeah, I know, you're gonna freak out. Don't fucking crash. Alright, go over the top. You're the wrong one. Cut you. And I need... the default enable disable trigger. That's it. That's the one. And we're gonna stretch that out a little bit. I'm good with that. Then jaw. Double click this, buddy. Heck yeah, what you gotta get up early for? You gotta work? You gotta work? That sucks, bro. I am off for the next... What? I was off today? I got 3 more days off? Hell yeah. Tomorrow, though, or in 28 minutes, it's Britt's birthday. So I'm gonna get off here before Britt gets home. She had to work late. They had an event at work tonight, but whenever she gets done with that and gets home, we're gonna hang out before going to bed and then having fun for the birthday weekend, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully we don't get up early. One of the best parts about having a 2-year-old, you know what I'm saying, is chances are we're probably gonna get up early. I'm super happy though that you chose to spend your late evening with me, homie, especially knowing you gotta get up early. Right on for sure. You didn't have to be here, and I'm super happy that you're here. Oh, I don't think Ghost does. I think you're thinking of Bedlam. I don't want to speak for Ghost, but I think you're thinking of Bedlam that gives enemies some Xeno pets. I appreciate you, OG, for sure. I think so, bro. I think that Bedlam's honestly the only one. I don't think I have to do anything else. It's just this link reference. That should be it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Save. Now the right one's in place. Now we'll go back. Now I can show off what Zone showed me. To be fair, Bedlam's dope. And what I don't get about that, we're not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it because I know that it just is polarizing across the board. Me personally, I don't like everything about it, but I do like the homie overall. But there's one specific mod reviewer that does not like the mod author. At least they don't sound like they like the mod author. That is the mod author of Bedlam, among other things. And I fucking love Bedlam. I think it's a great mod, for sure. I don't know about all their mods, you know what I'm saying, necessarily, but at least Bedlam, it's on point. It's a great mod for varying up your enemies at different POIs, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good one. Oh, a Xenomaster Tech Runner patch would be dope as shit. That is awesome. That is legitimately awesome. Ooh, I'm intrigued by that. That is definitely cool. Patching is something I want to learn how to do. It was, I think it was, I can't remember if it was, who was it? It was either Tank Girl or Downfall that I was telling. I was like, yeah, I ultimately really want to make this one mod I've been talking about for a minute called Matt's House. That it's a outpost that's literally fully built and decorated the way that I do my outposts. And like I want to, but like I found out in the creation kit, shit, everything that I use in my outpost for the most part comes from mods. So I was like, I'm half tempted. I was telling them, I was like, I'm half tempted to take like 10 of my favorite mods, and I know that it would be ridiculous to make a mod that has like at least 10 dependencies, if not more. But then it was ultimately, I was like, but ultimately, like, how would people in the community even view that if I was like, hey, look, you need to have Betamax's outpost framework, and you need to have scrappy structures, and you need to have, like, I know I can't have dependencies that are paid mods, but I was like, I wonder how that would be looked at. And they're like, yeah, you should probably just learn how to make the stuff yourself. Fuck. Bro, that's what I want to do. I want to make pre-built outposts so bad, not just ones that I'm encouraging the player to like build it themselves, but I want to actually make like full-on pre-built ones. But like, dude, the assets in the creation kit fucking suck. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to the outpost stuff, like for structures and everything, there's like nothing pre-built. You have to like build it all yourself, and I am not patient enough for that. Like I have a lot of patience for a lot of meticulousness when it comes to this mod making thing, right? But like for that, I'm not at that level yet. So I really wish that like I knew how to get a hold of Mills builds and be like, bro, can I use scrappy structures in a mod? And obviously it would be a dependency. You get credit. I talk about your stuff all the time. I'll continue to do so. But like I don't know how to get a hold of Mills builds to be able to ask him to do something like that. So like I don't know. Bro, or not just an out. So, like, I want to know how this works. And we'll test out, and I'll show this off. I just put my cigarette out. I'll turn the cam back on. So, like, for Fallout 4 outposts, settlements, sorry, right? Fallout 4 settlements. There's a YouTube channel. It's a big channel, super big, right? Shawzo, right? Shawzo, phenomenal builder. Absolutely somebody that I look at their work in Fallout 4, and I'm like, man, Shawzo is top tier. Like the no mod builds that dude does, exquisite. Like has a tremendous amount of talent. You know what I'm saying? And out of nowhere, I started seeing on creations that you can download those exact same settlements. Shazo uploaded them, so the exact same ones that he's got videos of him building and touring, you can download those in your game and actually have those locations exactly like he built them on the video. The only way that I can think of that that happened is somebody's able to take the game files from his save, import that somehow into a creation kit, and then copy and paste it basically. Like, I want to know, I've Googled this, and according to Google AI, there is no way to do this. But like, I want to know how to do that, if there would be a way to know how to do that for Starfield, because if I could just build in game one of the outposts that I'm normally build or whatever, and then literally just take that file and turn it into an ESP and ESM and then upload it for people to download as I built it, that would be the ultimate dream for me and the types of outpost mods that I want to build. Sly, dude, I'm gonna be hitting you up. I'm gonna be hitting you up, bro. I was on Creations earlier. I didn't even notice how busy you've been here as well. And one, the Unity City looks fucking awesome, bro. It looks really cool. But two, I didn't know that you got a couple companions out now. A robot, two of them, and I'm trying to make two robots, and I can't fucking figure it out. I need to know what you know. I need to know what you know so I can finally get over this hump and put these NPC companions in that I want to put in. I think I know ultimately what my biggest issue with them has been, but I want to verify with you for sure. My dog is barking at somebody. That is insane. Bro, it is almost midnight. Let me get him real quick. Get in the garage. Come on. Come on. Literally somebody getting home, going to their house. He was freaking out in the garage earlier, and I was like, why is the dog freaking out? It's because a bird had flew in, so I got this like mesh net in between the outside world and my garage door, so I can have my garage door up, and then everything's still blocked in the outside world, right? And a bird got in between there, and I just saw the dog freaking out, and I was like, what are you freaking out about, bro? And I looked, oh shit, there's a bird. Okay, we gotta get this bird out of here. Bro, it's 4 a.m. in London and a thunderstorm. Bro, the thunderstorm literally, but it called you at the end, bro, here soon. Britt's gonna be getting off work probably here soon. I'm gonna be getting off, getting ready for her. But the timing was right. It's my first stream back in like half a year, it feels like. I'm very thankful that you were able to be here for sure. It's also been thunderstorming here in Indy, so small world, right? Tech Runner 2.0 includes taking over POIs. Yes! Oh, that is sick. Oh, that is sick. Right? Like a settlement. That's what we need, something like that for the settlements, Raven. That would be so sick, right? Oh man, I thought the baby was waking up too. I'm getting too excited out in the garage. Baby was waking up. Let's check this out real quick. Check this out. So look, what Zone showed me. If we get into the trigger space. Now we gotta look around, because I don't know exactly where it's gonna come from. There! Look at that! Yeah! So you can time it out, obviously, right? You can time it out so that, like, right when the player lands, or when they just get out of their ship, you can time it out right so it makes a little bit more sense. But look at that! I know how to make a ship now land. You can run over to it. I just set this one as a drop ship, so it's probably going to take off here in a second again. But look at that. It's floating. It's fucking floating. So, yeah, glad this is just for test purposes. Look at that shit. Ugly. But yeah, set it to a drop ship, and there's no crew, so it's going to take right back off. But again, so extrapolate that out, right? So if I link up a couple NPCs to that, and I put some keywords in that link, like, what is it called? BE disembark link, and then I put in another link to a X marker that says DMP patrol weapon out jog. Now I can have a ship on my queue land, unload a batch of NPCs that are then, you know what I'm saying, with purpose, moving towards somewhere else. And super fun things you can do with that, right? So that is how to make them land when you want. That is what Zone most recently specifically helped me out with directly. But if I save this, save it right here, we're just gonna quit back to the main menu. We're gonna hope that doesn't freak it out. But then we're going to go back to... I only want to know how to do it is pull up the task menu. So we're going to go back into the creation kit. And this time, on the ship, instead of putting the spaceship enabled landing for that, we're going to put its current, yeah. So current interaction linked ref keyword. So we switch the dropship, the link to the landing pad. It was spaceship enabled landing or whatever. We're going to switch the keyword to counter interaction linked reference. And that should be literally all we have to do. But we also don't want, or don't need, we don't need this to be initially disabled. We want it to be enabled. And we can go ahead and delete that and delete this and save. I figured this out because I went to the Crete research location, and there's a ship that does what I wanted to do. What? Oh, it doesn't work that way because I'm in the game. So I do have to exit it completely. This is gonna freeze. It's gonna fucking freeze. Yes, Tennessee. So you can do it for a bunch of things. You can do it to call down allies. Spoiler, I keep talking about these two companions that I really want to make that I can't fucking make right or get them to work right when I upload them. So like the first one, you just meet in a bunker. You get into this bunker. See, this shit froze. I'm gonna have to literally restart the whole computer. Because even if I get out of it this way, so like I come here, no, I didn't mean to do that. So like close. But in Steam it's still running. So then I hit stop. Confirm. It still thinks I'm in it because it's not. Oh, okay, we're good at least. Even if it crashes, we're good. It saved where we were at. Hey, the system just wants to make me an asshole in everything I say tonight, so I'll take this one at least. At least it didn't crash. I'll take that. Save that. Now we're going to go back in. But yeah, so as I was saying, so these two NPCs, so to be fair, this might spoil the end result if I can actually get these working right. This is what I absolutely want to do. But at one of the locations that you get sent to, basically as soon as the player lands, two ships, kind of like boom boom, two ships land like in between where the player lands and where you're supposed to go to, and hordes of enemies basically come out from these two ships attacking the player, right? Again, right in the middle, coming towards the player of where the player is trying to get to. Well, when when you get close enough and that all starts and you're in the thick of it, third ship comes down out of nowhere, and when that third ship comes down out of nowhere and opens up, the second companion, LFB 634, comes running out. It's a Model A. It's got a laser on the head and a flamethrower on the arm. It comes out, and I try to time it so it shows up at what should be the very end of the fight, right? And he comes out of it, and the first thing he says to you is, "I saved you." And then basically I made it so any option that you pick, it just automatically assigns him as a crew. So even if you're like, what, you didn't save me, he's like, thanks for having me and stuff like that. But yeah, you could use it to have you know what I'm saying, allies come in. You could use it to have enemies come in. What I'm about to show you is the reverse, right? And you might think, well, Tommy, why would you really care about making the reverse of a ship, land. Well, like, what if you're teasing a threat throughout, an ultimate big bad or something like that, and you want their presence to be known, but you don't want there to necessarily be a direct interaction or anything like that, then you could do. Hopefully, it works. I don't know if it's gonna work because I've already explored it. It should work because I just put it in, so it hasn't done it yet. But we'll find out. So, wait. Oh, because it didn't do the landing animation. Oh, yeah, so it's already gone. We gotta do it on a new file. Oh, that sucks. It's okay, though. Quit. Confirm. I don't think... This one might. No, that's probably all the way back out by the friggin' Katie did thing. We're just gonna go with the new one. Yes, yes, for sure. So again, and again, still take the edits that you put on the table, right? And just like I said, then easy, done. Don't even trip about that. That's what we'll do. I don't know if the name Flynn or the faction Rusty Devils. I'm not 100% on them yet, but I get the idea where we were going for sure. And I do actually kind of I like the play on Rusty Devils because with with the original idea for the faction name that I had, I was playing with. Well, it ties in similar theme to another established faction within the game. So it's basically like this shit froze. Oh my god. Oh no, it didn't. No, it didn't. I completely forgot that I had already clicked new. That's my bad. But Rusty Devils is kind of fun just because of the Bethesda, you know what I'm saying, connection, Rust Devils, Rusty Devils, and it still has Devils for the Hollow Devils. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely like that for sure, and I'm considering that. The Big Bad name might change that still for sure and figure out one. I don't know. Flynn's not bad, but Flynn, I like Flynn. Flynn, like from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel a connection with him, so I don't want to make that a bad guy name. No. It is still loading. This is gonna crash. This is gonna crash. This is not gonna go well. But yeah. So like the whole idea, if anybody wants, I'll just show. We're just not gonna show. I don't want to cancel it now because if I cancel it, I feel like it's gonna be bad. We're just gonna let it ride. We're just gonna let it ride. But yeah, Brit's still at work. She hadn't texted me yet. But come on, man. Just wanted to show it. But so a teaser for the okay, fair, fair. But so a tease for how this plays out for this mod that I'm eventually gonna have done and uploaded, right? So the main themes of what I was trying to do: one, give the player a reason for wanting to explore the outpost mechanics. Two, give the players a insight into a already established original creation faction by Ghost Rider, the Hallowed Devils, part of the Xenomaster mod. Everybody knows my absolute favorite mod for the game. Like, you don't even need to hear me list platitudes at this point anymore. You already know what they're going to be. But it's my favorite mod. It is what it is. But so I wanted to do something with it, right? Like, I love to create. I'm a creative person already. Like, I love to build specifically. It's my outlet for creation, right? And I wanted to build something that could take aspects of what I love and encourage players to explore that, whether it be xeno hunting or outpost building, And I wanted to figure out a fun story that might keep the player engaged long enough to actually experience those things, right? So when you start the mod, it starts out as you're walking out of the mining facility in Vectera before you go meet um, Barrett and Vasco in the frontier lands, right? Like you walk through a default set stage trigger and it starts the first quest. And you're given a series of objectives that take you through finding data slates that are full of history of the Hallowed Devils, where they come from, some of the things they've been through, the players that are involved in it. You'll see a bunch of familiar names throughout that: Ghost, the Xeno Ambassador, Thorgen Ironside, Sly So Savage, Captain Will, or sorry, Captain Rose, and Thea and Raven. You know, I got a couple head nods and name mentions for a bunch of the Hallowed Devils right throughout that lore, and it takes you from that mining location on Vectera, and it follows you through that initial tutorial with Vasco. So at the Crete Research Facility, you're given another mini reward and an additional slate on the rooftop after you get through Brogan and his crew, and it lets you know that there's a cave. There is a cave that is just south of the research facility. You go to the cave, it's a ruined cave, gives you a bunch more lore and insight and kind of some things that have been going on in the shadows, right? For the recent history of the settled systems, when you're talking about that conflict, right, between the UC and the Freestar, and whether you're talking about Xeno warfare and all that good stuff, right, and the knowledge that comes with all that stuff, right. And once you leave that cave on Crete, again, you're encouraged to continue back to Constellation. You get more supplies and more slates at the New Atlanta Spaceport in front of the lodge. The slate in front of the lodge encourages you to meet everybody at Constellation and to help Constellation help one of the Hallowed Devils friends in the old neighborhood. And before you do that, to make sure to go explore out behind the lodge for the old Hallowed Devils camp location. That camp location is a player outpost that you can claim. There's also there a bunker, and in that bunker you conclude the first leg of the quest and you start the second leg of the quest. So that first port we just concluded is called Humble Beginnings. The second part that we're now starting is called Bring a List. Bring a List directs the player into the old neighborhood to meet up at Mast and then go to Cydonia. And in the bar in Cydonia, there's two slates at the list table that you can find. And one of those slates directs you to Nisoy, where we've just been exploring, right? And it's a potential list location that the player is encouraged to take over and build up, show a list that it's worth it, and it's in the name of the Hallowed Devils, right? The other data slate kind of teases the fact that the Xeno Ambassador might be more than just a normal, average, regular person, implies that they might have seen things and done things within a timeline multiple times before. Encourages the player, hey, if you want to get to the end at the old neighborhood, just jump right to Neptune, you know what I'm saying? But it also establishes that the player is encouraged to help Moara because Moara is a UC and the Hallowed Devils have a very specific history that's tied to the UC, right? They're friendly, and Moara specifically is a friend of the Ambassador, so the Ambassador tasks the player with going and helping Moara. From there, you get some more goodies and a slate on that ship that encourages you to take the artifact back to the lodge and then get back to where this all started, back on Vectera, encouraging the player to go and save Barrett. There is a little reward whenever you save Barrett that encourages the player from there to make sure to get back to Constellation, pick up Sam, and then start heading towards Aquila. This is actually when the player is encouraged to make their first stop at Nisoy to claim that location before continuing over to Cheyenne. For most players using the Frontier, Olympus is going to be a place that you have to stop at on your way to Aquila City for the first time anyway. So again, it kind of times out, clearing out all that initial game stage, tutorial stage, unlocking your constellation companion stage. You're encouraged to go through all of that while you're receiving all of the foundational lore for the Hallowed Devils, their recent history, and what you're going to be doing in the game. This is just going to keep spinning until I turn the computer off and turn it back on. So I'm just going to flip it back to this screen because we're about to end it anyway. But so you go through Nisoy, you get up to Aquila City. In Aquila City, you get more goodies, another slate. This time, you're officially welcomed as a new official member of the Hallowed Devils. You're sent on your first assignment. That's at a rejected list location on Sumati that the Hallowed Devils use for an exchange site now. It's a discrete location that they can use for an exchange site now, and the player is tasked to go there. If you decide to do the empty nest first, there's a fun little a little slate that I put out there as well that it'll be fun within context if you play through the mod and you go to the empty nest before going to Samati for your first assignment. But at your Samati, that's the first time that you're actually kind of smacked in the face with more than meets the eye to the Hallowed Devils, specifically just a couple people within the Hallowed Devils. And that's where you first get introduced to the big bad, if you will, right? The BBEG and their henchmen. There's a conflict and an encounter that kind of spirals on Sumati. You make your way back into a cave. There's more action in that cave, and you're eventually then from that cave directed towards Tierna 2. On your way to Tierna 2, you have to stop at Neon. So, of course, there's some supplies, some slates, some lore, some teases from Thorgin Ironside that, you know, the only real hope for the FC is to get Hope out of there, and we might need to get somebody on the inside to figure out what's going on. Trying to hook as much of the main faction quests as I can, just to make the player really feel encouraged to, yes, you're going to have these quest beacons that are kind of pushing you forward on the specific quest line, but you're being encouraged through those slates, through the lore, through the way everything's being set up, packaged, and presented to the player. You're being encouraged to let that overall story breathe, to experience these different things, explore these different things. Even if you have to remember to go back to it, it's putting it in the back of your head. Hey, once I finish up my assignment, you know, what I'm doing on Tierna 2 might be worth doubling back. You know, I'm seeing some shit now in Aquila. I heard what Thorgin had, or read what Thorgin had to say in Neon about the FC. Maybe we should do something about that too. I don't know, but you get that stuff. Also, some of my favorite custom weapons that I made. Not assets like visuals, but like, you know what I'm saying, customized weapons within vanilla guidelines or whatever. Get those at Neon. You get to Tierna 2. Tierna 2, there's another conflict that smacks you in the face. This one is the biggest conflict within this quest line. Smacks you in the face. And you find another bunker location that then takes you to the final quest location for this AIO. When you get to the outside, like the external part of the location, it's actually owned by the enemy faction. There's some enemy NPCs and stuff that you're the one showing up at them this time. And you get into a bunker, work your way through a bunker, and no spoilers for that, but that does kind of close one chapter of the saga and prepares the player for what's to come after. Hopefully in a way that it gets them really excited, and like when you get to that point you're like, no, I need more, I want to see what's going to happen next. I'm hoping that that's the feeling that the players are left with, right? And ultimately you get like 13 custom weapons. There are, I think it's 4 external locations that 3 of them you get as player outposts. Of the like 5 internal locations, I think 4 of them you can keep as player home locations, right? We've got some custom clothing that we've been playing with, some custom consumables that we've been playing with, and hopefully the cherry on top when this is all said and done, hopefully we'll have 2, at least 1, but hopefully 2 companions that the player will be able to actually recruit and assign and have following and all that stuff, right? I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this because I could show not all of it's in place yet, but confirm. Some of the stuff I was talking about here. Again, I just started rebuilding the mod again this morning. I got a lot done. You know what I'm saying? I can switch this back over, I guess, one last time. I did get a lot done since this morning. There's all the weapons. Let me slide this window over so you can see it. But see, there's all the weapons, location overlays. There's the quests. All these extra containers. The slates that I've put in so far. None of them are detailed out yet, just setting them down. Because I do have rebuilt out already the 10 stages for main quest 1, which is called Humble Beginnings. All that stuff's set, put together, the objectives are there. Only thing I have to do is finish the papyrus fragments all the way through. But we got that good to go. Tentative names, I guess, for those objectives. Humble Beginnings, Hallowed Devils, Hallowed Past, Beginning of the End, Ruins of the Past, One Bad Day, New Atlantis Arrival, Securing the Old Neighborhood, Moving Out, Rebuilding Camp, and Ironside Prototype. That is the Humble Beginnings portion. The Bring a List portion, we are not at the end yet, but what we have started so far. Bring a List, the Old Neighborhood, Potential List Location, Friends in Need, Return to Where You Started, Potential at Nisoy, Ironside Supplies, and First Assignment. Q2, or Main Quest 2, will end with Exchange Site Details, or Exchange Details, and then Hallowed Hidden Cave. Those would be probably the last 2 or 3. Well, what? 40, 45, 50. So, be something about the details, something about the cave, and maybe an extra slate in there. I'll make sure it's 10. I don't know why, but I want it to be 10. And then basically part 3 picks up on the inside of the Samati cave, and then going through Tirna, stopping at Neon, and finishing out at Ptolemy 2. Right? So I do have a bunch of work left still to do, but not that much work ultimately overall. A lot of the legwork is done in regards to putting the foundational stuff in. I'm going to finish up putting, yes, get rid of both of those. Yeah, we don't want none of them. Yeah, we don't want none of them. Sweet. Save. But I don't even remember what I was saying. It's super late. So oh yeah, it's super late. Oh, what I was saying, I got most of the foundational stuff in place. I'll finish up the quest stages and objectives and placing those down, so that's at least all done. I'll put all the papyrus scripting in, so that way I can test out and make sure all the stages of the quest work. And then at that point, it's literally just finishing up the set dressings. I don't have a whole lot done for like my interior. I don't have like anything done for any of it, but because I just started this morning. But like one of them, the Crete cave, I'm gonna expand it out. I put in little caps just so I could, if I did go in and test it, make sure it was all sealed. You see, interior caves. But if I scroll out, the cave entrance is right here. the two corridor ends or whatever. Literally just had to. Why is there two? Literally just had to move them out the way, and I can continue expanding and moving and all that good stuff. The interior's right. I'm not gonna save that little change, but it's been around 3 hours. I've had a whole lot of fun. I really appreciate everybody here. Oh man, X2357. What is good, brother? Hey, you know what's super cool, bro? I actually, oh, I wish I was still in it. I literally just exited out of it. I have a 45 named after you in the mod. It's the XM2311. Well, now it's the XM2357, not the official one. I didn't redo the vanilla one, but there is a very specific XM2357 that the player can find within this mod that I was talking about for 3 hours. And definitely one of the baddest 45s in the game, if I don't say so myself. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you being here tonight for sure. And I appreciate everybody that was watching live. I appreciate everybody that's going to watch potentially after the fact. All of my homies, whether you're Hallow Devils or not, if you've been super cool to me, you know who you are. You're probably getting shouted out in this mod. That's the whole goal. I'm still going to get to the point. I'm going to download GIMP again, and I'm going to steal all of my homies' profile pics and logos and avatars. I'm going to right-click save as all their shit, and then I'm going to upload it through GIMP to be able to then add the meshes into the creation kit. And then I'm going to make like posters and wall arts and shit like that with everybody's names and logos. And that's when one day I'll make the ultimate mod that I really want to make. I've been talking about it since way back in the day. Matt's house. One day I'm going to make Matt's house, and it's going to be a fully set up, fully decorated outpost where everywhere that you turn, there is a shout out to one of my homies for sure. That's the goal. That's what's going to happen. And I'm having a ton of fun trying to figure out how to get to that point, right? Again, thank you everybody for being here. Raven, X, Ghost, Sly, everybody. I know I'm missing people. My man, OG Tennessee. Is there anybody else specifically that I missed? I don't want to miss you. There wasn't that many, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I want to make sure everybody gets shouted out right on. But my brain is fried, and it is super late. And I am about to get off here, so I guess I'll do a what do you call it? One of my normal sign-offs or whatever. It's been a minute, so let's see if I can remember it right. We're just gonna cut a new one from scratch. Check this out. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. One more time, don't forget, we're past midnight. It is Brit's birthday, so everybody, at some point in the live chat, the replay, the chat, if you see Brit anywhere online, just let her know happy birthday, Brit, for sure, and that you hope she has a good one, right? But thank y'all for being with me. I appreciate y'all. Take care till next time for sure.